I've had respect for this brand. What's up, guys? Back into the video, and this is centered around these three letters. NXT. And not around this version of NXT, not the male. It's not around the women's division. You all know how I feel about the golden child, Charlotte Flair, the woman who is gifted with a golden shovel. Her holding this belt is the equivalent of Ted DiBiase's $1 million title. It's a fucking accessory to her. She was in a #1 contenders match on Raw for the women's title while still holding this title. She's been on Raw and SmackDown week after week. Guess where she hasn't been for weeks? I mean, for God's sake! Tonight on NXT was a milestone in history in the making where she actually competed in a match on the brand she represents! I'm not kidding with this. Since WrestleMania, where they stupidly gave her this title, she's had 2 matches on NXT. The tag match tonight where she won teaming with Chelsea Green, and a title defense against Io Shirai. I really want to know what the was going through producers' heads when they decided to give Charlotte the NXT title over Game, Future, and Potential in Rhea Ripley. Yeah, why build up new talent? Why build up fresh new competitors when you can just do the same bullshit you've been doing and just giving a title to Charlotte just because her last name's Mother Flair? And don't get me wrong, I might hate Charlotte, but I respect her talent in the ring. But I'm sick and tired of every fucking title being centered around her. I'm lucky she hasn't gotten her grips on the freaking tag team titles, which pretty much mean nothing, though. It just drives me crazy that she's still champion. I pray that she loses the title at In Your House, which was an FYI NXT Takeover In Your House, referencing old WWF pay-per-views. There is one match I am looking the most forward to: Tommaso Ciampa versus Karrion Kross. If they don't make this a no-holds-barred match or some kind of street fight. Also, am I weird that I kind of want to see Karrion and Tommaso beat the living shit out of each other, then try to be a tag team at least once? Back to Charlotte for a little more time. I just don't get it. Was it publicity getting people watching NXT more? Probably. But it just drives me crazy. Rhea Ripley was a great champion. She's a talent you can build up. You didn't need to give the title to some over-pushed, in my opinion, somewhat overrated Charlotte Flair. And if you did give her the title, at least have her compete weekly on NXT! It is so... I don't want to say embarrassing. I might want to just say stupid to see the NXT champion, women's champion, the NXT women's champion, competing on both Raw and SmackDown. And again, she was in a #1 contenders match on Raw for the Raw Women's title. She really is just the Ric Flair with a different set of genitals. She really just is. That's her whole thing. Ric Flair as a woman. I mean, it works for her, gets her money, gets her so many title shots just handed to her. And again, I don't know when I last said this, but again, just open your mind a little bit. Put feelings against Charlotte aside and really think about what I'm about to say. Before the Royal Rumble, when was the last time Charlotte had a title match that she earned and wasn't just handed? Seriously, think about that. When was the last time Charlotte earned a title match? Oh, hold on. It wasn't just handed one. The last time she had to win multiple matches to get a title shot, because I can't remember any of it actually. Compared to, I don't know, Becky Lynch, she had to scratch and claw multiple matches just to get a number one contenders match. What happened? Charlotte Flair just interrupted the whole fucking thing because her name's Charlotte fucking Flair. I'll admit this. The good thing about that title win, which was SummerSlam in the triple threat, was we got the debut of the man. Again, I don't hate Charlotte as a wrestler. I hate her as a fan. She's great in the ring. She's okay in the ring. She can get great heat with fans as a heel. It just drives me crazy that she's you give her the NXT title and she's allowed basically to go to both other shows and barely if ever show up on NXT. I mean, think about it like this. Back in the original wars, imagine if, let's say, Hulk Hogan, when he was still under contract with the World Wrestling Federation as the World Wrestling Federation champion, imagine if all he did was compete on WCW as WWF champion. Or imagine Hogan as WCW champion under contract with WCW, only competing on WWF. It's like that. Imagine another brand's champion competing on the separate brand and the brand you're supposed to be against. Yes, they're the same thing. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, they're all the same thing, WWE. But they're all still in that brand war. That should be a thing. If you do a brand split, keep a brand split. Especially when you have the third brand of NXT, which for years has been the superior brand. Which again I ask, why give this belt to a woman like Charlotte Flair? I just don't get it. I would have been fine with Shayna Baszler winning the Rumble. At least still Shayna got to WrestleMania. What was the point of her losing then if she was still going to go to WrestleMania? I'm positive the reason Charlotte won, and this is just a fan, I don't know, it's not technical stuff, not research. Positive the reason Charlotte won the Royal Rumble is because she was whining and bitching to her daddy that she wasn't on WrestleMania's ideal list. Or some shit like that. Again, that's just the fan talking. I mean, not the analysis. The guy who thinks things through that. That part of me with Charlotte being NXT champion is the more logical fact that Charlotte's competing on both shows to get more people to pay attention to NXT, basically. But if you put NXT, which people for years have said is the superior brand on TV, why would you need someone to represent NXT on the different brands to get more people to watch when more people are already watching it? I mean, I'm positive more people watch NXT than Raw. Because Raw is shit. Not anymore because Drew McIntyre's WWE champion and Apollo Crews is US champion, which for fucking thank God! Apollo Crews is a champion finally after, 5 years? Something else on NXT that I've talked about a few times is the heel run of Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. Now in a rivalry with Mia Yim and Keith Lee. I'll just say this, if they take the North American title off of Keith Lee and put it on Johnny Gargano, I wouldn't be shocked about it, but I'll still get mother pissed. Because Keith Lee is one of my favorite stars. You know I have his t-shirt somewhere in this closet. I have a lot of wrestling shirts. Where is it, actually? Here, is this it? No, it's... What the... I know it's in here. Is it in here? Not hung it up yet. Probably that. Okay. But yeah, you know I have his t-shirt. But it just drives me... That, and again, seriously, how long do you give Candice LeRae to be a heel? Seriously, I give that run at least 1 or 2 years. Because I can't take... No matter how many stupid vignettes at dinner they put up or how much crap they do, I can't take a woman like Candice LeRae seriously as a heel. Her nickname is the Poison Pixie. How in the blue hell do you make that sound intimidating? It's still a pixie. It's still something as big as one of these things, if not this is the size of a pixie. Also, fun fact, off topic, I got 2 of these from Five Below. They were both John Cena. Yeah, Jesus. But yeah, I really do not give a heel Candice LeRae run that long. Neither would Johnny Gargano, because they're both born babyface characters. Seeing them play a heel is like, well, pretty much back to Cena. Trying to see this version of John Cena as a heel. Yes, he started off as a heel in his inaugural run in WWE, but imagine this version of John Cena. This version of John Cena acting like a heel. The guy who's for years has been saying hustle, loyalty, respect. All of a sudden turning heel. People would have been wanting it, but the minute it would happen, I'm positive they would hate it because it wouldn't make any sense. Just like turning Candice LeRae heel made sense, but still doesn't make sense. This is just all my opinion. You don't have to take what I say to fact or anything like that. I'm just one guy who rants about this stupid crap. And also, little message, if you don't like professional wrestling, don't watch it, and don't watch my videos on professional wrestling, because I don't want to get spent, because I don't need it, okay? You don't need to be some little bastard who watches a pro wrestling video and has to say if the wrestling match is stupid, if it's insulting, you have to say it's fake. The only true dipshit is you. Okay? So if you don't like wrestling, don't click this video and stay off of pro wrestling videos. If you like UFC, watch your UFC. If you like soccer, watch soccer. If you like football, watch football. If you like basketball, watch basketball. If you like pro wrestling, watch pro wrestling. It's as simple as that. Watch what you like! Maybe you're someone who's trying to give wrestling a shot and you can't get into it. That's fine. If wrestling isn't for you, don't be some troll son of a bitch who has to comment on every wrestling video how to you it looks stupid or that it's fake. Here's a little thing for you. Look this, if you don't like professional wrestling or if you constantly say it's fake, I'm about to tell you something, okay? There have been legit injuries where people's lives have been cut short by this. You can watch it on Dark Side of the Ring. But I'm about to tell you some injuries, okay? For people who don't like pro wrestling, this is the part of the video, or for people who don't like professional wrestling and say that's fake, here's the part of the pro wrestling video that I'm positive you've already commented on that wrestling's stupid or something like that. Here's the part of the video that's really made for you. In WCW, Psycho Sid jumped off a middle turnbuckle just to land on his foot. His weight his leg couldn't support his weight, and this part of his leg was dangling because it broke in two. In King of the Ring, Undertaker versus Mick Foley was thrown 25 something feet off the floor. He dislocated his shoulder. He continued the match. He got chokeslammed through the roof. Got a concussion, broke his teeth. Continued the match. In Japan, Mick Foley had half his ear, 75% of his left ear, ripped off. In Japan, Vader had his eye popped out of its socket and pushed it back in. Draws in a match with D'Lo Brown got permanently paralyzed from the neck down. Hope you enjoyed this. And don't worry, more of that crap will continue later.